Ahoy there, shipmates! Welcome aboard. Let's cut to the chase. You're here to find out about flipped learning. Here's 3 silly little quotes for you. We can come back to them later. Okay, well, you're actually doing a flip lesson now for yourselves, so here's some instructions for you. There's 3 steps. The first step is to watch the video and make some notes, remembering you can stop me whenever you like, and you can come back and listen to me again if you want to. So, first you make your notes by watching the video, stopping and rewinding whenever you need to. When you finish the whole video, the whole exercise, okay, and you've made your notes, I want you to write a summary in your own words of what you've learned. And the third thing that I would like you to bring along to the workshop is some questions. Any questions that you've got, and we can find out what it is extra that we need to know, we need to find out. Okay, so here we are. You're here to learn about flipped learning, so our objectives for today. Well, bare minimum, make some notes so you've got some idea about what I mean by a flipped lesson. Hopefully I'll whet your appetite and you'll start thinking to yourselves, oh, I know, I've got this really horrible information heavy topic coming up and maybe it's suitable for flipped learning, or I'm in a tight squeeze before the exams and I need to speed up. So start thinking about a sequence of your own. If you want to get started, you'll need to download some software, stick it on your laptop, so some of you could do that for homework as well. And yeah, some of you might even have decided to start flipping. So here we go. Ooh. Want everyone to climb aboard, please. Okay, climb aboard the good ship Churchill Academy and let's set sail. Okay, oh, wrong spot, sorry about that. Treasure Island, here we are, the future of learning. Let's go. Okay, so we're all aboard the good ship Churchill. Here's an overview of what we're going to find out. Bring me back. Okay, first thing, in general, flipped learning is about pupils using some sort of online resources in their own time for homework, lunchtime in the library, on holiday, hanging around waiting for their little sister at swimming lesson, whenever it is, okay, to make some notes that can then be checked in class. Obviously you need to know what they've done. The question is, what if they don't do it? Well, same as anything, give them attention. Okay, in the next lesson then, having checked what they've done, they're going to have to apply that learning with you as the expert on hand to help them develop. So there's a traditional classroom, which is all about acquiring the knowledge in class, listening to you, boring old you, and then doing something at home for homework that they get stuck on and they can't get any help. Here's what a flipped classroom looks like. Much better. Okay, first you're going to acquire the knowledge at home. If it's about making some notes and looking at some videos, well, they can do that on their own. Okay, and then hopefully when they get back to class, you'll have thought up a really good task for them to apply their knowledge, and you'll be able to see if they've picked it up and how much they've understood, and then help them to develop and move on another step. So how's it all done? Well, the first step here is selecting or making some sort of resources. You don't have to make your own resources, okay? There's plenty out there already. You don't need to reinvent the wheel unless you like dressing up. Okay, next bit. Ensure the resources are available for all the students, so maybe not just YouTube. Some of the students don't have access to that at home. Maybe stick it on the VLE so they can do it in the library. Most important, preparing some follow-up work. If they're going to make some progress, this is not just about you being lazy and them doing all the work for themselves at home. This is about doing something meaningful with their lesson time. Obviously, you're going to have to check that they've done it. So here's the flipped classroom. They're going to acquire their knowledge using the resources you've selected and prepared at home. And then when they come back to the classroom, they're going to apply the knowledge. There's a crucial bit, so that you can help them to develop their understanding as the expert. Okay, so what sort of resources are we talking about? Well, you could just take one of the PowerPoints you've already got, and stick it on the VLE and say, can you make some notes from that? Saves the time, the 20 minutes to half an hour that you would have spent talking over a PowerPoint in class where they got very bored. They'll actually do a better job if you let them do it themselves in their own time at home. Could be a Prezi, like this sort of whizzy zoom in, zoom out stuff that we've got here. It could be a webcast. It could be a video from YouTube that you selected, or something they're going to watch maybe on BBC iPlayer if it's relevant, and make some notes on that. Could be reading an ebook. There's all sorts of things they could be doing. If you fancy getting into the world of webcasts and want to make yourself a YouTube celebrity, here's how you do it. Okay, first thing, you'll need a little bit of equipment. Okay, you'll definitely need some screencasting software. For example, I'm using Cam Studio. It's free to download and it records everything that happens on the screen. You might want to get an extra webcam. Some of my videos feature little experiments done in my kitchen or in my living room, and I like to video those just to put it in context. It means it's a bit less boring. Okay, you might want to put a microphone on as well, so they can hear you a bit better. Okay, so prepare the lesson, video the lesson. Remembering, of course, you don't have to go too slow. If they want to hear something again, it's not, sir, can you say that again? Sir, can you move the board back? Whatever. It's not like that. Okay, they should be able to do that themselves. And when you're happy, stick it on the internet. Just pause and get my power. Okay, we're back again and we're powered up. Okay. Key to the whole process then obviously is going to be engagement. It's got to be fun to watch. I mean, you know, they'll watch you once being boring, but they won't watch you 2 or 3 times being boring. They'll get fed up. Allegedly, and I've got this in feedback that the kids have given me, they actually quite like to see me waving my hands around and stuff like that and doing various different things. So get an extra webcam. Okay, they like to see what's happening in my kitchen. So again, use your webcam. There's lots and lots and lots of things that you could be doing. YouTubes, you might have some simulations and stuff. Who knows? Whatever you do in class that's fun, you can do on your screencast. And also a little bit of background music makes it fun. Oh, background again. Okay, moving on. Okay, the crucial part is the follow-up. Okay, they've acquired the knowledge. Okay, they've acquired this at home by using the resources you've given them, and now they have to apply it so they can develop their understanding. And you're the expert. You're on hand to help with that. Okay. Think of an appropriate task. There's all sorts of things that they could be doing. It could be as simple as a worksheet. It could be as you know, advanced as doing some sort of practicals and explanations and role plays, all sorts of stuff. Whilst they're working, okay, you can be checking that they've done their work. Talking of which, let's have a look at a few examples just now. Okay, here we go. Oops, here's a few the kids did earlier. Okay, here's a fairly basic one. Okay, but I like it. They've made their notes. They've got a little summary and they've got a question, so well done them. Here's another one, nice and colourful. They've tried to use colour, done some diagrams, made some notes about it, come up with a question. Good effort, well done. Here's another one. Only thing missing I thought here was the title. They've got a question, they've got a summary. Nice to know they sometimes read your feedback, because here is his next effort. He's got a title. So again, a good effort. This one, I think I quite like the question that the student came up with. Okay, they've definitely been thinking. It was an excellent effort. Someone's really gone to town here. Lots of diagrams. I like that a lot. Double house points, double like. Again, even if it's nice and neat, if they haven't put a question, they need to take the time to think about it. And that was just some nice work on a different topic. Okay, when they come to you for a follow-up task, then here's a few examples. Okay, I provided a scaffold for this follow-up task for them to fill in and tried to get them to emphasize the key ideas about using particles. This one demonstrated good progress. Okay, not the strongest student, but applying what they've learned and using the idea of particles, which was great. Okay, another follow-up task here. It's badly photocopied, I'm afraid, but they've chopped up the sheet and stuck it in their book in order, added their own pictures, showing that they've got some understanding about what's going on with the particles. Here's one, it's a higher level class. I just chose some quite demanding questions from a pre-prepared scheme. Here's another follow-up task. I just made the sheet, well I had the sheet anyway myself. They did the work, rather than listening to me do it in class and then do the work, they did the work at home and they came in and did this in class, and then we did a nice practical. So there's some ideas. Oops, no, wrong place, sorry. That's where I want to be. Okay, let's have a look at it in more detail. Okay, it could be a group work task, working on one big sheet of paper, maybe an A3 sheet of paper, a scaffold. Explanations are really good, where they get to use the ideas that they've learned. Anything to develop what they've learned in the lesson. Making up a rap, doing a role play, an advert for something. I'm sure you've got a lot more ideas than me. After they've been doing that for, let's say, 20 minutes, a plenary. Bring it all together. Look at each other's role plays. Pin stuff up on the board. You can draw attention to the good work. You can highlight it. You can draw on it on the board. Maybe bits that are wrong, you might want to challenge. You might want to say, is that right? Discuss it as a group. All the time, make sure you emphasise with the pupils they need to pay attention, listen to what each other's done, listen to the good points, because their individual tasks will be based on what they find out. They then might do an individual work. I'm keen on for them to be working in silence now. It's about what they've understood. They've got to think for themselves. Obviously you can differentiate it, different tasks. I'm very keen on providing a scaffold to the students so they don't waste time with their stationery, faffing around, and obviously some sort of time limit. Another plenary then in the lesson, reviewing what they've done. It might be them reading out the work that they've done, making sure they've done a good job. It might be peer assessment, pair assessment, using some sort of level ladder or key task grid, which you can throw together on a PowerPoint or just write the words up on a board in seconds. It's not a lot of preparation. Obviously, house points for the ones who've done well. Whilst we're here, I'm afraid I can't not go into my little bugbear at the moment. Formative assessment, please, let's get away from summative assessment. Let's get away from homework, so just stop. Here we go. Okay, it's about setting some sort of extended task where you're going to guide the students through to make a bit of progress. Here's an example. Okay, here's a key task sheet that I might give to students. Tells them what pluts I'm going to assess, gives them an overview of the task, leads them through what I'd like them to do, gives them a level ladder, which is basically what I'd like them to do but written out as a level ladder. And obviously we don't mark work that's copied from websites. Okay, so back on our formative assessment. Set them the task, give them a level ladder, give them plenty of time, maybe a couple of weeks, but with some reminders, because you want to get all that work in so that you can assess the work promptly. Here's some examples of some assessment, some assessed work. Okay, there's one key task. Someone's put a lot of effort into that. Good use of ICT, made their own flow diagrams. Really an excellent piece of work. Another lovely poster. Students stuck their own bits of work on there. It's all in their own words. None of that has been plagiarised. This one tapped into a student's passion for MotoGP. This truly was a really, really high standard piece of work. Okay, let's have a look at some examples about feedback. Okay, so here's some examples of feedback here. Okay, that's the sort of thing I might put. Here's another one with feedback. This was already a very good piece of work. Simple thing that she had to do to improve, and hopefully that bit there showed me she had made that improvement. She had improved the way we wanted her to. So, key part of this, after you provided the feedback, is to give some lesson time to make the improvements. Otherwise they're not going to move on. And then obviously Once they've made the improvement, you can praise and celebrate the progress. Last few examples of improvements. Here we go. So this is what I asked the student to do. Bottom here, and then they've just added it on to the bottom of their work, as you can see. Okay, improvement made. Another example here, this was a year 8 student, okay, and something about skateboards, and she's followed the advice and probably climbed up to about a level 6, so made some improvements. Okay, are we at the treasure yet? Let's have a look. So, bit of flipped learning, okay, bit of follow-up, bit of formative assessment, and what do we get? Well, X marks the spot, my hearties. Here we are. Okay, students empowered with some learning and thinking skills, confident that they can do better, that they can improve, and with inquiring minds. So, if you're going to go into the bad world as it is of flipped learning, here's some tips, some software that you might want to download. Stop the video if you want to get the websites. Here's a reading list. Okay, this was the original book. This is quite a useful set of instructions. Here's some rubbish I made earlier. And finally, check your objectives. Remember, we should all be able to make some notes and say what flipped learning is about. Some of you should be thinking about identifying a topic ready to come to the workshop. Some of you might have identified and got and downloaded the software ready, and some of you might have started already and will just be sharing some ideas. You're doing a flip lesson yourselves now, so hopefully you've watched the video. I want you to write a summary about what you've learned, and please come on with some questions that we can all try and get our heads around and discuss. Thanks very much.